EU leaders will meet in Brussels next week for this special summit to discuss the bloc's long-awaited sixth round of sanctions against Russia. Now, this latest wave of punitive measures is expected to include the phasing out of Russian oil from Europe. But whether or not they can actually achieve consensus is definitely up in the air after Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban again this week voiced his opposition to the proposed blanket ban. Now I'd like to bring in our correspondent Shona Murray, who joins us now live from Brussels. Shona, Hungary has been very vocal in this criticism of this oil embargo on Russia, but are there more countries that actually share this view ahead of next week's meeting?
Oh, indeed there are. There are countries that are the phasing out of Russian oil is problematic economically. Slovakia and the Czech Republic and Hungary are three in particular because they're landlocked, because they rely so heavily on Russian oil, and their infrastructure to process Russian oil is almost exclusively just for Russian oil. So they know, or they've stated, that it will take several years rather than months to phase this out. But politically speaking, the Czech Republic and Slovakia are supportive of it. They just need more time than the rest of the member states. Hungary, on the other hand, is saying things like part of the economic crisis that Europe is facing is as a result of the previous five package of sanctions. So instead of blaming Putin for the war in Ukraine and that creating so much economic instability, Viktor Orban, the Hungarian Prime Minister, is blaming the EU. He's also tying, his support for this package of sanctions to him getting money from the EU's recovery fund. So there is a difference. He's not, it appears, to be solution-driven.
And Shona, Lithuania, for example, has been very successful in actually phasing out its dependence on Russian oil and gas. Should the EU leadership use this as a model for other member states to sort of manage without Russian energy?
Well, not just Lithuania, other countries have, of course, done the same. The other Baltics, Poland has been doing that for some time, because they've actually warned the rest of the EU about the behaviour of Vladimir Putin over the 10, 12 years. He's been acting in this sort of aggressive, bellicose way in plain sight. And, of course, Germany has phased out or is planning very strongly to phase out its reliance on Russian oil. So there are many countries who are doing this, which I suppose then shines a light on Viktor Orban's position, where he seems to be the most prominent problem. As I said, the other two countries, if they're given the proposition and given the support from the EU, they're willing to do it. From a political perspective, they want this to happen. Viktor Orban is holding the whole thing up. And I spoke to sources yesterday and today who said that if Hungary were to give this the green light, with the support of the EU, then the whole thing would pass. And it's a really difficult situation because, Europe needs to support Ukraine. The purchase of Russian oil is financing the war in Ukraine, and the EU can't have a situation where it can't pass a really important package of sanctions because one country is holding up the whole process.